Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Victorinox Tinker Swiss Army Knife. So the Tinker is a pocket-sized Swiss Army knife that only has 2 layers of tools and is pretty standard in terms of Swiss Army knives. Before we dive into the tool set, let's do a little size comparison. Here it is up against my Leatherman Free P2. It's my go-to EDC multi-tool, and here it is up against my other Victorinox multi-tool, the Classic SD. As you can see, the Tinker is much larger than the small Classic SD, but it isn't as big as the Free P2, and here it is up against the Leatherman Style PS, a keychain size TSA friendly multi-tool, and finally here it is up against a quarter. I always love comparing Swiss Army knives against quarters to show how nice and compact they are. And finally, here it is up against a ruler. As you can see, it's a little bit above 3.5 inches long. And in terms of sharpened blade length, the blade comes in about a little under 2.5 inches, which means it is legal pretty much everywhere. It's not that big. Usually 3 inches is like the sweet spot in terms of America and European countries. It also has a secondary blade that's a lot smaller. A lot of people call this like the pen blade, and this pen blade is less than 1.5 inches. And as I said earlier, the Tinker has 2 layers of tools and comes in around 1/2 inch thick. In terms of the tool set, as I showed you earlier, the Tinker comes with 2 knives, one being the 2.5 inch blade. Obviously this would be the primary blade. Both blades are made out of the standard Victorinox stainless steel. I'm not too sure about the exact specs, but it's a pretty solid stainless steel utilized in all of Victorinox's knives and multi-tools. And although it's no super steel, because Victorinox knives and multi-tools are fairly inexpensive, I'd say you'd get a pass, and you're mostly buying Swiss Army knives for the tool set rather than a super knife. And as I said, it comes with a secondary pen blade. One thing that I've heard from Victorinox enthusiasts is that for the Swiss Army knives that come with 2 knives, a lot of them say that they never use the small pen blade. They primarily use the big knife for their EDC tasks, and then so if they want a very sharp knife and they haven't sharpened their knife in a while, they can always rely on the small pen blade since it's never been used and it's razor sharp when they need it. That's another great thing about Victorinox tools, is that their knives always come razor sharp right out of the package. On the same side that both knife blades come, you get 2 other tools. First is the combination can opener and flathead screwdriver. Obviously you get a small little sharp edge as well as a little hook to open a can manually, and at the very top you get a small flathead screwdriver that I think can also be a Phillips head screwdriver, but this knife also comes with a primary Phillips driver, which I'll get into later. And on the other side you get another combination tool. It's a bottle opener, a flathead screwdriver / pry tool, and a small little wire stripper. It's a pretty solid combination tool. This is the bigger flathead screwdriver, and you can do some good prying with it as well. Obviously bottle opener, no introduction needed, and then you got a nice little wire stripper that can also do some detailed work. On the other side of the tool you get 2 other tools as well. First you get the awl, which is found in various Swiss Army knives. So all Victorinox awls are 3-in-1. You obviously get the punch, you get the sharpened edge for manual drilling, as well as a sewing eye. So if you need to punch into something, whether it be like leather or cardboard, you do that with the punch. And if you need to drill into wood, you get the sharpened end and you basically manually drill it. And if you need to loop thread into something, that's what this little hole is for. You put the thread through the hole, you punch it in, and then the thread is inside. And finally, you get a 3D Phillips driver on the same side as the awl. It folds out like this, so you get a lot of torque if you need to screw a Phillips screw. And as I said, it is 3D. It's like it was cut off from a standard screwdriver and put onto the Swiss Army knife, which is really cool. As you can see, my particular model utilizes a translucent blue plastic, which is pretty cool. I really love translucent tools and gadgets and how you can see what's inside. And as you can see, at the top of it, you get the standard tweezers. They're made out of stainless steel. Tweezers are great for picking out splinters and maybe doing some detailed work. And as I said, they come from the scales and slide back in like that for easy storage. And at the other end, you get the standard Victorinox toothpick. The toothpick, obviously besides picking teeth, is also great for pushing small buttons or pushing things out of tight crevices. A very solid tool. And finally, like all Swiss Army knives, it comes with a key ring that you can attach to your keychain and have your tool with your keys at all time. Although a tool this size, I probably wouldn't hook up to my key ring. Instead, I'd probably buy one of those keychain pocket clips, attach it to the Swiss Army knife, and make it so that the Swiss Army knife is attached to a pocket clip in my pocket, because unfortunately Swiss Army knives do not come with pocket clips. It is important to note that like all other Swiss Army knives, every tool, including the knives, are non-locking, so if you're doing some harder work, be sure to keep that in mind so the knife blade doesn't close on you. As far as me using it, and pretty much everyone else who has a Swiss Army knife, that hasn't really been that big of a problem, but it is something to still keep in mind. So the size of the Tinker, in my opinion, is a great size for Swiss Army knives. I get a full 4-finger grip, and you get a good sized knife blade. There are a lot of other Swiss Army knives in this same size, which I think is solid, some of which include less tools, some of which include more tools. Obviously, more tools would add more layers, and less tools might even shed a layer, making it even more compact. I think the tool set is really solid on the Tinker, especially given the price. The Tinker typically retails for a max of like $25 to $30, which is very solid for a Swiss-made multi-tool. That's only like $5, maybe $10 more than the classic SD, and a Swiss-made multi-tool for less than $30 is always really solid and a great deal. The only thing I don't like about the Tinker is the fact that it lacks scissors. Victorinox, in my opinion, makes the best multi-tool scissors because of how razor sharp they are, and they have great action, so it is a little disappointing to not find them on the Tinker. I feel like they could have added them somewhere over here, or maybe swap out the 3D Phillips head screwdriver with a 2.5D Phillips head screwdriver to make room for scissors, because scissors, in my opinion, are one of the most useful tools ever made, and they're a necessity for any multi-tool that I carry. So what are some of your guys' favorite Victorinox multi-tools? I'd definitely like to know down in the comments. So that's gonna do it for this video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, follow me on my socials, and thank you for watching.